We will continue from where we stopped, and our topic today, or rather, our uh, dars today will be on فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ مَنْ رَبُّكَ فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ مَنْ رَبُّكَ. So if it is said to you, who is your Lord? Who is your Lord? You know, this question, remember we said you're going to be asked this question in the grave. Alaysa kadhalik. But not only in the grave, in this dunya also. Because if you don't know who Allah is in this dunya, how can you be able to answer this question in the grave? So in this world also, as we've had, if someone was to ask you, Man Rabbuk, Man Rabbuk, who is your Lord? You said you are a Muslim or you are a human being. And then they say, who is your Lord? Then you define who your Lord is. Then we know where to place you. We know whether you are a Muslim or not. فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ. So if it is said to you, Man Rabbuk, who is your Lord? فَقُلْ, say, Rabbi Allah, my Lord is Allah. Who is Allah? Alladhi Rabbani wa Rabba Jami' al-Alameen. Who has nurtured me and all creations. Siwaw. Yani, He has nurtured me and all creations. All that exist. Who is Allah? Who is your Lord? My Lord is Allah. Alladhi Rabbani, who has nurtured me. Wa Rabba Jami' al-Alameen, and has nurtured the entire creation. Bi ni'matihi, with his favors and blessings. Bi ni'matihi. Bi ni'amihi. Bi ni'amihi, with his favor and blessings. Wa huwa ma'budi laysa li ma'budun siwa. Again, this same Rabb, my Lord, who is Allah, huwa ma'budi, is the one whom I worship. Is the one whom I worship. Yani, I direct all my acts of worship to Him. Laysa li ma'budun siwahu. I have no any other I direct my act of worship to none other than Him. I have known whom I direct my act of worship to besides Him. I have known whom I direct my act of worship to besides Him. Laysa li ma'budun siwahu. I have known whom I direct my act of worship to besides Him. Does it make sense, the translation? Yeah? Does it make sense? Laysa li ma'budun siwahu. I have known whom I direct my act of worship to besides Him. Yani, I direct my act of worship to Him alone. وَالدَّلِيلُ قَوْلُهُ تَعَالَى. And the evidence for this answer is the statement of Allah, the Exalted. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. This is the evidence wherein Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Alhamdulillah, all praise belongs to Allah. Rabbil Alameen, the Lord of all that exists. Mankind and jinnat and all that exist. So this is my evidence. So I don't have any Lord besides him because he is the only one that has this qualification, yani that can be qualified to be the Lord of all that exists. Anyone besides Allah cannot be described as such. So my evidence for this answer that my Lord is Allah who has nurtured me and has nurtured all of the creations, and I do not have any none besides whom I direct my act of worship to besides him. Yani huwa ma'budi is the one whom I worship alone. So when you say huwa ma'budi is the one whom I worship alone, laysa li ma'budun siwahu, so you are only saying la ilaha illallah. That is the meaning. This is la ilaha illallah explained in another format. When you say huwa ma'budi, that is illallah. Alaysa kadhalik. Laysa li ma'budun siwahu, that is la ilaha. واضح؟ نعم. وكل ما سوى الله عالم. وكل ما سوى الله عالم وأنا واحد من ذلك العالم. And anything, وكل ما سوى الله, anything besides Allah, whether it be living thing or non-living thing, anything besides Allah, وكل ما سوى الله عالم, is a created being. عالم, it's a created being. وأنا واحد, and I am one من ذلك العالم, I am one of these creations. So I am one of the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this should be the answer. And this answer should be internalized. You have to live your life accordingly. That you have a Lord who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whom you direct your acts of worship to. And then you have to recognize that anything that is in existence has been created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you yourself, you are one of the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now look at the answer here. فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ مَنْ رَبُّكَ, and you say رَبِّيَ اللَّهُ الَّذِي رَبَّانِي وَرَبَّ جَمِيعَ الْعَالَمِينَ. You have established and affirmed and believed in one thing and testified in one thing first, which is you have testified and you have affirmed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists. Cool? You have established the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah exists. You have not denied it, because there are people that deny the existence of Allah. And then secondly, you have recognized Tawheed al-Rububiyyah. When you say Rabbi Allah alladhi Rabbani, who has nurtured me, this is Tawheed al-Rububiyyah, who has nurtured me and has nurtured all of the creations. And then in all of our lessons, we've tried to have a sequence in understanding the three categories of Tawheed, alaysa kadhalik, and how one of them leads to the other, and the understanding of one necessitates the understanding of the other one, and that they are all mutually inclusive. You can't believe in one and leave the other one, otherwise you become a mushrik. So since you have believed in Tawheed al-Rububiyyah, the natural thing is وَهُوَ مَعْبُودِي تَوْحِيدُ الْأُلُوهِيَّةِ. If you have believed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that provides for you, is the one that nurtures you, then the natural thing, progressively so, alaysa kadhalik, tadrijiyan, yani from one step to the other. When you understand this first aspect, then it necessitates the understanding of the second one and fulfillment of the second one, which is the other aspect of Tawheed. And then when you say, وَكُلُّ مَا سِوَى اللَّهِ عَالَمٌ, وَكُلُّ مَا سِوَى اللَّهِ عَالَمٌ, and anything besides Allah is a created. Now you have established another thing. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ. Because it's Al-Khaliq, you don't have another Khaliq. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. So you've equally affirmed the Tawheed of the beautiful names and the perfect attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you have Tawheed in perspective. قوله, the statement of Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab. فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ مَنْ رَبُّكَ. So if it is said to you, who is your Lord? Someone meets you and asks you, who is your Lord? Man Rabbuk. Man Rabbuk. Who is your Lord? لما بين الشيخ رحمة الله عليه الأصول الثلاثة مجملة أراد أن يبينها مفصلة واحدا واحدا بأدلتها من الكتاب والسنة. After Sheikh has explained to us previously the three fundamentals in general terms, he now intends to explain them to us in details, wahidan, one after the other. بأدلتها من الكتاب والسنة, with its evidences from Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it's a matter of, it's something that is tawqifiyya. Alaysa kadhalik. You have to depend on Quran and Sunnah to establish the issues of Tawheed and Aqidah. There is no ijtihad here. وَمِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ فِي الْكَوْنِ. So these are the steps that Sheikh Ibn Abdul Wahab rahmatullah alayhi has taken to explain to us who Allah is. First, adillah, evidences from Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The second step, وَمِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ فِي الْكَوْنِ. Then, the signs, the evidences of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fil kawn, in the universe. So aside from revealed verses, revealed signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the verses of the Quran, Sheikh also wants us to understand who Allah is through our introspection, our pondering and reflection over the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala contained within the universe. وَمِنَ الْأَدِلَّةِ الْعَقَلِيَّةِ. Sheikh has not even left us there yet. He adds, وَمِنَ الْأَدِلَّةِ الْعَقَلِيَّةِ, from rational evidences. Rational evidences. So whenever you meet a rational human being, and then you are able to use that rational evidence, it suffices to convince him that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our Lord and Him alone should be worshipped. How many evidences have we mentioned now? How many sources of evidences have we mentioned now? 3. Quran and Sunnah, the primary sources. Universe. Al-adillatul aqliyya, the rational evidence. وهكذا يجب أن تبنى العقائد على أدلة الكتاب والسنة. This is how it is. It is obligatory. It is mandatory. أيبنى أن تبنى العقائد, that you build your aqidah, your belief system, your creed, your belief system, your aqidah, على أدلة الكتاب, upon the evidences of Al-Quran. Al-Kitab bimana Al-Quran, upon the evidences of the Quran, was Sunnah, and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is mandatory upon us. It is obligatory upon us when it comes to the issues of Aqidah that we rely solely on Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وعلى النظر في آيات الله الكونية, and through a reflection and pondering في آيات الله الكونية, and the signs, evidences of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that are contained in the universe, like the rising of the sun, the setting of the sun. The scientists will tell you that the sun does not rise, but we say Allah speaks to us in the language that we understand and how we relate with the reality. In the rain that falls, in the dry land that gets impregnated by the water that falls, and then it gives forth fruits. يُسْقَى بِمَاءٍ وَاحِدٍ. They are all being fed with one source of water, but their taste differs. Surah Al-Ra'd. يُسْقَى بِمَاءٍ وَاحِدٍ. One water. Then you have banana, it has its unique taste. Orange with its unique taste. Carrot, unique taste. Mango, unique taste. يُسْقَى بِمَاءٍ وَاحِدٍ. These are signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you look at the universe, as we're going to go deep into it, إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب. So you reflect, you ponder over the creation, the universe. والسماء والطارق وما أدراك ما الطارق النجم الثاقب. Reflect over the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. من أجل أن ترسخ وتثبت في القلب. For the purpose, the reason why you have to reflect upon all this is to have the strong aqidah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being the Lord of the universe, and He alone deserves to be worshipped, so that this can be deeply embedded, so that this can be deeply embedded in the hearts of people, alaysa kadhalik, and firmly established in the heart, وَتَزُولَ جَمِيعَ الشُّبْهَةِ, and then it takes away all forms of confusion, doubt. You don't want to leave any room to doubt the existence of Allah, to doubt the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Lord of the universe, to doubt the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that nurtures every creation, to doubt the fact that only Allah is deserving to be worshipped. Only Allah deserves to be worshipped alone. You don't want to leave any doubt. You don't want to have any doubt with respect to your aqidah. So the evidences that Sheikh is bringing is to solidify this belief system. When Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, show me how you kill and you give life. أَوَلَمْ تُؤْمِنْ قَالَ بَلَى. Oh, you have not believed? Say, oh no. Certainly I have believed. وَلَكِنْ. The reason I'm asking this question, so that I can have tranquility in my heart. So when someone that you believe so much in tells you that it's raining right now in Maitama, you believe him, right? You are not even having any doubt because there is no any reason to lie to you. But when you drive down to Maitama now and it's raining, it's more certain in your heart. It has removed any chance of doubt creeping into your heart. So we don't want to be left with any doubt in our hearts. With respect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our belief with respect to Allah being the Lord of the universe and alone, Uluhiyya, and then the beautiful names and perfect attributes of Allah. Now, وأما العقائد المبنية على الشبهات, as for the aqaid, different يعني jam'i, as for the different belief systems that has been built على الشبهات, upon doubts, confusion, suspicions, without any certainty, like the different aqaid that you have cropping that have cropped up within the Islamic community. The aqidah of the Sufis, the aqidah of the Naqshbandi, the aqidah of the Shiites, the aqidah. All of these aqaid are built, the Jahmiyyah, the Asha'ira. The Mu'tazila, all of the Khawarij, all of these aqaid have been built upon suspicion, doubt, not any certainty upon them. وَعَلَى الشُّكُوكِ, doubt, built upon suspicion and doubt. وَعَلَى أَقْوَالِ النَّاسِ, وَعَلَى أَقْوَالِ النَّاسِ. Aqaid, belief systems that have been established upon the statements of people that are not worth taking as authorities in the matters of the deen. So you build your aqidah upon human sentiments. You build your aqidah upon the statements of people that claim that they had a dream, they dreamt, and in their dream they saw so and so, and it was given to them. Then you accept that, and then you build your aqidah, and your aqidah revolves around the dream of someone. No. You have to build your aqidah on Quran and Sunnah. Namshi. والتقليد الأعمى وعلى الشكوك وعلى أقوال الناس والتقليد الأعمى فإنها أقاعد ذائلة لا تثبت. And aqidah, belief system that is built upon blind followership. التقليد الأعمى, blind followership. I grew up seeing my family members upon this path. So I've condemned my intellect not to probe why they are doing what they are doing. So I've decided to be a blind follower without probing why they are doing what they are doing. This is not a sound aqidah. You have to build your belief system upon certainty. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ عَلَى بَصِيرَةٍ. From an informed perspective. No, عَلَى بَصِيرَةٍ, there is no doubt, no suspicion, No, it is from an informed perspective, backed by established knowledge. All these aqa'id that are built upon falsehood, alaysa kadhalik, and suspicion, فإنها أقاعد زائلة لا تفقد. They are not affirmed. They are built upon human whims which are bound to perish. So they will not last. They will not last. ما عندكم ينفد وما عند الله باق. That which Allah has given to us is what will abide forever and ever. That which was built upon the sentiments and whims and caprices of human beings, it will not last. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah which verse? Which surah? No, Surah al-Mu'minun, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَوِ اتَّبَعَ الْحَقُّ. If the truth had been in accordance with their whims and caprices, the world would have been in turmoil and corruption. If the truth had been consistent with their whims and caprices, this is how we want it to be, then there will be a lot of corruption on the face of the earth. So in a little while, when people have used their whims and caprices to hoodwink others, to sway the tide of their belief system, they've caused a lot of havoc in the society. The little while that they've used their whims. Just once, someone just said he dreamt that he was given this, and then he's left an atomic bomb, a spiritual atomic bomb in the midst of the Muslim people. May Allah protect us against following our whims and caprices. وَهِيَ عُرْضَةٌ لِلنَّقْدِ وَعُرْضَةٌ لِلْإِبْطَالِ. All these aqa'id, they are vulnerable to criticism and falsehood. That is why every day you keep criticizing the Tijaniya, the Sufis, the Naqshbandi, the Maturidiyya, the this and that. They are always faced with criticism. The Khawarij, they are always faced with criticism because they are vulnerable, because they have been built upon a shaky foundation. When your building is standing upon a shaky foundation, Aqidah is your foundation. When your building is standing upon a shaky foundation, it collapses. Amongst other reasons that can cause the collapse of a building. So when your foundation is shaky, you are vulnerable, right? When a building's foundation is compromised, the building is vulnerable, it's exposed to what? Cracks, so many things. If the wind blows, anything can happen. If it rains heavily, anything can happen. If there is a load put on it that is beyond its design capacity, anything can happen. And that is exactly what is happening when you build your aqidah, your belief system upon faulty, shaky evidences. They are vulnerable to criticism. They are vulnerable to falsehood. And that is why it keeps mutating. How the bid'ah was 10 years ago is no longer like that 10 years afterwards. It has mutated to something worse than what you knew it to be 10 years ago. Because it is exposed to falsehood. That which is built upon certainty is not exposed, is not vulnerable to anything. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَجَعَلَ كَلِمَةَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا السُّفْلَى وَكَلِمَةُ اللَّهِ هِيَ الْعُلْيَا. So what is built upon the word of Allah will always be on top. Now, may Allah be pleased with us. فلا تثبت العقيدة ولا سائر الأحكام ولا سائر الأحكام الشرعية إلا بأدلة الكتاب والسنة. It is not established. It is not firm. Not only Aqidah, but other yani ahkam, injunctions of the Sharia. Other injunctions of the Sharia. Do this, don't do that. This is how you do this. This is how, all of them are built upon what? Illa bi adillatil kitab was sunnah. You have to build them upon the evidences of Quran and Sunnah. So even if it is mu'amala, even if it is business, jinayat, when you're doing criminal cases, this and that, whatever it is, you have to build it upon adillah. So even when scholars make ijtihad and you have different madhahib, all of the madhahib built their judgment upon a methodology that depends on primary sources also of the Sharia. So they have to depend on Quran and Sunnah. Then other methodologies, the ijma, the qiyas, amalu al-Madina. I hope you understand. So even their methodology, if for example you have differences of opinion regarding the maximum number of days that a woman experiences a menstrual cycle, if the Malikis say 15 days, they also have evidences that they built this judgment on. You understand? Whatever it is has to follow the evidence of Quran and Sunnah. وَبِالْعَدِلَّةِ الْأَقْلِيَّةِ الْمُسَلَّمَةِ. And then with the evidence, rational evidences, al-adillatul aqliya al-musallama, the one that is free from any blame. Because some people use their rational thinking to mislead others. So we are talking about the one that is free of blame. The Mu'tazilites use their the rationalist. They are called the rationalist. They are called the rationalist. They use their rational thinking. Al-aql. They favor the aql against what? Naql. What has been narrated, what has been established, they put it aside first. They use their rational thinking. If this is acceptable within the rational thought of human being, then be accepted. If it is not acceptable within that rational thought line of thought, we discard, even if there is a clear evidence. So we are talking about rationalism, a rational thought that is free of blame. أليس كذلك؟ ولهذا أكثر الشيخ رحمه الله من سياق الأدلة على هذه الأصول الثلاثة. That is why in the siyaq, يعني in the discussion and the يعني whenever Sheikh touched any issue of this aqidah, he brings, he populates it. He populates it with what? With evidences. فَلَا يَمُرُّ أَصْلٌ. He does not pass by any fundamental منها يعني من أصول الثلاثة. أليس كذلك؟ منها من أصول الثلاثة. He does not pass by any fundamental منها. فلا يمر أصل منها إلا وقد دعمه بالأدلة والبراهين اليقينية التي تطرد الشكوك والأهواء وترسخ العقيدة في القلب. He says, Sheikh does not pass by any fundamental from amongst from amongst these three fundamentals, illa except وقد دعمه, except that he supports it. Except that he supports it bil adilla, with evidences, wal barahin, also evidences. Proof. Hatu burhanakum in kuntum sadiqin. Barahin, proofs, evidences and proofs. Al-yaqiniya, alaysa kadhalik, not any type of evidence or proof. Al-yaqiniya, that is certain, wanda babu kura akan shi. So when you are establishing evidences, and when you are establishing the evidence for your position on issues, then when you reference hadith, we don't want any hadith that has dust on it. We want hadith sahih. Al-yaqiniya, the one that has been established with certainty, free of any doubt. Allati tatrud ash-shukuk wal ahwa, the one that dispels, the one that throws away doubts and desires, whims. Yani, evidences that are not laden with doubts, evidences that are not laden with desires and whims of the one that is profiling, that is bringing forth those evidences. You know how people cook up evidences to support their positions, like the Sufis do now when the issue of Maulud. They twist evidences of Sharia. The Adillah of Sharia, they twist them to suit their adopted positions. And am I making sense? وَتُرَسِّخَ الْعَقِيدَةِ فِي الْقَلْبِ, and to embed, that is arasakha abushine, to embed, to imprint something in the heart. Yani, when they say something has been deeply rooted in your heart. Al-aqidah, to embed aqidah fil qalb, in the heart. So if something is embedded in your heart, it becomes part and parcel of it. Qawluhu is statement. فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ أَيْ سُئِلْتَ مَنْ رَبُّكَ. مَنْ رَبُّكَ, when you are asked. يعني فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ بِمَعنَى إِذَا سُئِلْتَ, when you are asked, when someone asks you, مَنْ رَبُّكَ, who is your Lord? وَهَذَا سُؤَالٌ وَارِدٌ سَتُسْأَلْ عَنْهُ. سَتُسْأَلْ عَنْهُ. You see this question? سَتُسْأَلْ عَنْهُ. You will be asked about it. في الدنيا والآخرة, in this world and in the hereafter. What do you believe in? What's your belief system? Who is your Lord? ستسأل في الدنيا والآخرة. In this world, people will ask you, are you a Muslim? What is your religion? You keep filling forms. You keep filling forms. People keep asking you, what is your religion? ستسأل في الدنيا والآخرة. And in your grave, the angels will ask you, Marabbuk. So you will not escape it. ستسأل في الدنيا والآخرة فلا بد أن تعرف ربك. فلا بد, therefore it has become obligatory upon you. Babu makawa, la budda, babu makawa. There is no escape for you. أن تعرف ربك, that you know your Lord, know who your Lord is. وأن تجيب بجواب صحيح مبني على اليقين والبرهان. وأن تجيب, and that you answer. When you are asked, that you answer بجواب, with an answer صحيح, to answer authentically. When you are asked who is your Lord, you have to answer authentically. Mabniyun ala al-yaqeen. Your answer must be built upon certainty. So when you are asked, you have no other choice than to answer correctly. An answer that is built upon certainty. Wal burhan, and proofs. Faqul. That answer should now be, then you say, Rabbi Allah, my Lord is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hada huwa al-jawab. This is the answer. Al-jawab. Hada huwa al-jawab. When you are asked, Man Rabbuk? Rabbi Allah, you have answered. But what is the other thing that followed? Allazi Rabbani, the one that has nurtured me. Allazi Rabbani, the one that has nurtured me. Wa Rabba Jami' al-Alameen, and has nurtured all of the creations. This jumla in the sentence is what? Yani bi ni'amihi, with his blessings and favor. Hada istidlalun aqli. The answer you have given, Rabbi Allah, that answer suffices. But this other thing that you have said now, Alladhi Rabbani wa Rabba Jami' al-Alameen bi ni'amihi, hada istidlalun aqli. This is a rational inference. Istidlal, when you infer, istidlal, what can you infer? Dalil is what? Dalil is إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا. دليل، هذا دليل في كتاب الله. هذا دليل إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا. What is the istidlal? The istidlal now means that you cannot pray until at certain time. That is what it infers. So that is the inference. So in Usool, you have what? Usool, you have what? You have 5 things. You have the hukum. I have to pray Zawal al-Shams. That is when I pray Salat al-Dhuhr. What is my evidence? Alaysa kadhalik. You go to the Quran, you go to the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Istidlal, what is the inference now? Which means this prayer has to be done. It infers that I cannot pray it outside that time. During that, like before that time. Alaysa kadhalik. So I have to pray it when that time comes in. أليس كذلك؟ حكم دليل دلالة وحكام. The 4th is the hukam, يعني the mujtahidun, the one that will be able to tell you this is what the verse infers. So the inference. So when he said, my Lord, Allah is my Lord, that is the jawab. But when he said, Alladhi Rabbani, the one that has nurtured me, wa Rabba Jami' al-Alameen, who has nurtured all of the creations, then this is istidlalul aqli. This is a rational inference. Rationally. Because Allah is the one that nurtures me, then He is my Lord. Do you understand? That is a rational inference. That is why we say we are going to establish it using the adillah of Quran and Sunnah, and then also the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fil qawl. Alaysa kadhalik. Then the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also fil qawl. Alaysa kadhalik. Now. I thought we can finish this. It's 1755. فَالرَّبُّ, quickly. فَالرَّبُّ, therefore, the Lord, Jalla wa ala, high and mighty be He, exalted be He, هُوَ الَّذِي يُرَبِّي جَمِيعَ عِبَادَهُ بِنِعْمِهِ, is the one that nurtures the entirety of His creations with His favor and blessings. وَيُغَذِّيهِمْ, and nourishes them. وَيُغَذِّيهِمْ, and He nourishes them بِرِزْقِهِ, with His wealth. يَخْلُقُهُمْ, He creates them بعد أن لم يكونوا شيئا مذكورا. When once before they were nothing worth mentioning. هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدار لم يكن شيئا مذكورا. آدم عليه السلام. أبو البشر. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that creates them بعد أن لم يكونوا شيئا مذكورا. في بطون أمهاتهم, in the belly of their mothers. All of us were once upon a time inside the belly of our mothers. في بطون أمهاتهم خلقا, a creation من بعد خلق, after another creation, يعني stage by stage. في ظلمات ثلاث, in 3 layers of darkness. This is iktibas in Balagha, right? So there has a verse of Quran here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَخَلَقَكُم مِّن نَفْسٍ وَاحِدَةٍ ثُمَّ جَعَلَ مِنْهَا زَوْجَهَا وَأَنزَلَ لَكُم مِّنَ الْأَنْعَامِ ثَمَانِيَةَ أَزْوَاجٍ يَخْلُقُكُم في بطون أمهاتكم خلقا من بعد خلق في ظلمات ثلاث. Here in Surah Al-Zumar, verse 6, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, He created you all from a single person, yani Adam alayhi salam, then made from him his wife, Hawa, and He has sent down for you a cattle, 8 pairs of the sheep. If you go to Surah Al-Araf or Surah Al-Anam, you get the detail of this Thamaniyah Azwaj. He creates you in the wombs of your mothers. He creates. Alaysa kadhalik. He creates. He creates you in the wombs of your mothers. Creation after creation in 3 veils of darkness. Look at Quran here teaching us science, anatomy, gynecology, whatever it is, in 3 layers of darkness. What are these 3 layers of darkness? Subhanallah. Look at the ilm of the Sahaba. Look at the ilm of the Sahaba. قال ابن عباس in the tafsir of Imam al-Baghawi. So Ibn Abbas, he said, في ظلمات ثلاث, أي, in the darkness of bottom, the stomach itself, the darkness of the stomach, this is the outer layer, right? And the darkness of the rahim, the womb, wal mashima, the placenta. 3 layers of darkness. Look at the precision. Wal mashima, the placenta. The tafsir of Imam Baghawi, I've given you the reference. ذلكم الله يعني الذي خلق هذه الأشياء. ذلكم الله يعني Allah, such is Allah your Lord. الذي خلق هذه الأشياء, who has created all of these things. So Tawheed al-Rububiyyah introduces to Allah. So Sheikh is saying, وَيُوَصِّلُ إِلَيْهِمْ الرِّزْقِ, then Allah takes wealth, nourishment to them. حَتَّى فِي بُطُونِ أُمَّهَاتِهِمْ, even when they were in the womb of their mothers. So Allah that gave you wealth, fed you, provided oxygen and nourishment for you while you are in the womb of your mother in the 3 layers of darkness. You think now that you are free. You can see there is no any layer that is setting a cover between you and the world. You think Allah will not provide for you? So you are doubting Allah to give you. You are depending on other people. Who was providing for you when you are in the womb of your mother? Allah. So the same Allah that provided for you when you were in a situation that none could ever take wealth to you. 3 layers of darkness. Fi dhulumatin thalath. The darkness of al-batn, the stomach, the darkness of al-rahim, the darkness of al-mashima, placenta. Allah provided for you. Allah has a way of taking wealth to you, your rizq, what He has written for you. When you think that Allah will not be able to provide for you when now you are free in the womb, when you were not able to move the way you want, you were restricted in the placenta in the womb of your mother. Allah said, what I have written for you will reach you. You think now that Allah has freed you, Allah will not be able to nourish you? Then we should intensify and solidify our belief in Allah. Allah is the sole provider. وَلِذَلِكَ يَنْمُو جِسْمُ الْجَنِينِ فِي بَطْنِ أُمِّهِ وَيَكْبُرُ. And that is why يَنْمُو Jismul Janeen, the zygote, the fetus keep developing, yanmu. The body parts keep developing of the fetus fi batni ummihi, in the womb of his mother, in the belly of his mother. Wayakbur, and it keeps growing. Alaysa kadhalik. It develops and grows because there is difference. Yanmu wa yakbur. Alaysa kadhalik. Development and growth. Both happens. لأنه يصل إليه الرزق من الله ويصل إليه الغذاء, because rizq, wealth, reaches him from Allah, and nourishment, al-ghidha, nourishment, reaches him from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so he's able to develop and grow. ثم تنفخ فيه الروح, and then life is blown onto him, soul is blown onto him. أليس كذلك? It's blown onto him. فيتحرك, then it starts moving. At the initial stage of the pregnancy, there is no movement. Then the baby starts kicking. فيتحرك, haraka, shine da ce akwai haraka, yana motsi, shi ne movement. فيتحرك. وَيَحْيَا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ, and then it lives, it's been given life. The hadith of Abdallah ibn Mas'ud is Sahih Muslim. The stages of development. Then he is given life, and then he starts living. بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ, by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. هَذِهِ تَرْبِيَةٌ فِي الْبَطْنِ, this is nurturing. This is nurturing. تَرْبِيَةٌ فِي الْبَطْنِ, فِي الْبَطْنِ, this is nourishment in the womb, in the stomach. ثُمَّ إِذَا خَرَجَ, and then if this baby is given birth to and he leaves the belly of his mother, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ سُبْحَانَهُ يُرَبِّيهِ بِنِعَمِهِ بِالصِّحَةِ وَالْعَافِيَةِ, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps nurturing him with his favor and blessings. بِالصِّحَةِ, with good health. وَالْعَافِيَةِ, أليس كذلك? Allah gives him good health. Allah gives him wealth. Allah gives him, he has conducive environment all around him. وَيَضُرُّ عَلَيْهِ لَبَنُ أُمِّهِ, and then before him is the milk of his mother, revolving, circulating him. Whenever he wants, the laban is there. All he needs to do is to cry. The mom gives the child the breast to feed. Allah provides. فَيَتَغَذَّى إِلَىٰ أَن يَأْكُلَ الطَّعَامِ, and then it keeps nourishing until the time that he's able to eat food. وَيَسْتَغْنِي عَنِ الْحَلِيبِ, then he's free of milk. He's now independent of milk. وَيَسْتَغْنِي عَنِ الْحَلِيبِ, halib, laban. Then he's now what? Free. He's weaned off. He no longer depends on milk, so he can't take milk again. He's now getting nourishment from food. ثُمَّ يَنْمُو شَيْئًا فَشَيْئًا, then it keeps developing from one stage to another stage. عَقْلُهُ, his intellect start developing. وَاللَّهُ الَّذِي أَخْرَجَكُمْ مِنْ بُطُونِ أُمَّهَاتِكُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ شَيْئًا وَجَعَلَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. So when Allah brought you forth from the bellies of your mother, you knew nothing. وَجَعَلَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ, then Allah gave you hearing. وَالْأَبْصَارَ, then eyes. وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ, and heart. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, so that you give. So شَيْئًا فَشَيْئًا, عَقْلُهُ, his intellect starts developing. وَسَمْعُهُ, his listening ability starts developing. وَبَصَرُهُ, his eyes, his vision start developing. يَنْمُو شَيْئًا فَشَيْئًا, it keeps developing from one stage to another. حَتَّى يَبْلُغَ الْحُلُمْ, until he reaches puberty. Al-Hulum. يحتلم, أليس كذلك? When he dreams, wet dream. حلم. ثم ينمو وينمو, then it keeps developing and developing حتى يبلغ أشده, until he reaches the age of strength. ويبلغ 40 سنة, and he reaches 40 years. ويكون في غاية القوة, and then you find him having absolute strength. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ إِحْسَانًا حملته أمه كرها ووضعته كرها وحمله وفصاله 30 شهرا حتى إذا بلغ أشده وبلغ 40 سنة قال ربي أوزعني 40 years. أليس كذلك? Stage after stage. So we're going to stop here, inshallah. Allah spares our lives till next week. We will continue from here. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك. May Allah bless all of us, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with all of us, and may Allah unite all of us in Jannat al-Firdaus. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك.